I'm Kirk Facker with Symtrax. This is Carol Fletcher, one of our key customers in the area. So today's focus is really on Fluor and how Carol and her team have implemented a solution for SAP reporting. So we had pivoted this presentation away from more of a traditional, this is what we do, how we do it. Carol is our star today. I'm going to be quiet and press the button to advance the slides. So without further ado, I'm going to sit down. And Carol, thank you for coming.
You're welcome. It's a lot of pressure that I'm the star. Oh my gosh. As he said, I have used their product, Compleo Suite, for about 5 years. Been using SAP for about maybe 18, well, no, not that many, about 16. And we found, as all of you, if you use SAP, reporting can be a little bit of a challenge for various reasons. And I work for Fluor. We are an engineering construction company. We are service-based. We're not manufacturing-based. That presented its own challenges. And with that comes a lot of reporting. We do projects, and we have massive amounts of data that come through the projects, that this data all has to be analyzed and tracked against budgets and reported out to various accountability, stakeholders and all of that. So when we started with SAP, we found that when we would run big reports, they would time out in the foreground. And then the user would have to go to the background. So when you have, we have multi, offices, we have multi-currencies and all of that. So we struggled with that 20-minute timeout, and it seemed like it happened when the system was busier, it would go faster, like all of a sudden we time out, and you don't get any data back. You don't get the first 10,000 lines or something. You get nothing. You get ABAP. And it's so frustrating, because then what happens is you have to go run it in the background, and when you run it in the background, then you have it's just like printing it on that old green bar paper with the headers and the column headings on every single page, and the negative sign appears, whenever you have a negative amount, it appears as text and not a number, and that you have to manually correct, or you can, if you download it into Excel, you can correct it with a macro and things like that, but you're always manipulating it. So we had a lot of complaints. I used to manage the production support arena, and with that said, I like to help people. So when Kirk and I were chatting, I said, I can do this. I can show him how we used it to really save some time in our world, and I like to share those kind of things with all of you. So the first thing is, as you know, with background reporting, same thing that I just mentioned. You have to remove the headers, you have to remove all the column headings, and you have to change that negative sign. And even if you run it in the foreground, you still have to download it into Excel. You still have to click, 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 bring it in, save it off, all of that. You can automate some of that using SAP scripts, I suppose, but then that takes another whole skill set of people. And those are not necessarily the skill set of the people that are doing your FI work, or in our case, our project work. So the challenge was our users were finding that they didn't want to run in the background. They absolutely resisted it. And what they were doing was they were launching more reports in smaller increments of requested data so that they would squeeze in under that 20-minute timeline, and then that would jam up the system with more reports. It would also cause them more time where they would have to download and format every single one of those reports. So, and the potential, so the other thing is when you're dealing with massive amounts of data, reformatting all that massive amounts of data, and we're dealing with, like, I had a report run just yesterday of 1,500 pages in the background. 1,500 pages times 60 lines of data a page is a huge amount of data. If somebody tries to put that into Excel manually and then delete all the headers, what if they delete a data line? Then you're out, and then you got to start all over. That was our problem. So we added all this potential for error. We don't like errors in our company. They don't set well with our management. So we bought this product. I happened to get an email from Compleo or Symtrax that just said, hey, background, I don't even think it said background reporting. It was kind of a nebulous email, but I picked up enough that it was going to go into Excel from SAP. So I said, I'll attend this webinar. So I did. That was 5 years ago. And ever since, we've kind of just expanded upon what we've learned and what we've done. So the beauty of Compleo is we automate all this. So basically, our process now is our users just send a report off in SAP background, and it goes through Compleo, and Compleo does all the work, and it delivers it right back either as an email or in a shared location as an Excel file. All the negative signs are fixed, all the column headings are gone. If you've ever used Excel templates, those are like the best thing since sliced bread. They allow you to pre-format your report in Excel. And so we put Excel templates in these. We also have the ability to add data using Compleo Explorer, where we use these things called query variables. So in SAP reports, sometimes a report would have a vendor number, but it wouldn't tell you what the vendor name was. Or it would have a cost element number, and it wouldn't tell you what the cost element name was. Sometimes you need that description. You don't always know all your cost elements off the top of your head. And so we were able to add those descriptions in using a table and pulling them in by query variables. So that was really instrumental. So the beauty of this is we were able to, with massive amounts of data, we had like this project of 1,500 where they're running it in the background, 1,500 pages, and they're running it in the background. They are able to eliminate like 30 hours of time to format all that data. They were taking a week to format the data and then get it out, and then they were having to run it again the next week, right? So it was just an enormous amount of time to download all the data, run it all, download it, all that. And I have to say, I've never seen Compleo, like, I thought we would have a limit on 1,500 pages. I thought, oh, we're gonna reach our limit. That program just chugs through. We run things all night long, 24 hours a day. We have people schedule them and launch them in the middle of the night. Like I said, we're multinational, multi-currency. So we have offices in India, we have offices in UK, in South America, in Australia, in Philippines, all these locations. These guys are running these things 24/7, and this system just continues to take them and process them through. We actually had to buy another automation piece because we had so much to process. So, again, it saves you time. The query variables are very helpful to add columns of data. Even if you run reports in the foreground, you're still going through the steps to download and all of that and format them into Excel. This just delivers them all done. So our people that we pay, analysts, highly paid analysts, we're not paying them to format reports, we're paying them to analyze reports. So we've eliminated all that formatting time. So there we go. So that's the biggest benefits.